Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that trips up almost everyone who tries to learn code. We're going to uncover the one real skill you need to learn programming based on our source material. And I'll give you a hint. It is definitely not what you think it is.
All right, so you've made the decision. You want to learn to program. Awesome. But then you're hit with this wall of questions, right? Where do I even start? Which language should I pick? Do I need a course, a book, a boot camp? It feels like you're drowning in options before you've written a single line of code.
So yeah, let's start right there, with that one single huge question every beginner has. How do I actually begin?
Now, according to our source, the answer is, well, it's almost ridiculously simple. You just start. That's it. You don't wait for permission, you don't need the perfect setup. The very act of starting is step one. But as you're about to see, what happens the moment after you start is what really matters.
Okay, first we've got to talk about this giant myth that stops so many people cold. This idea that you need a special talent for programming.
So on one hand, you have these common beliefs, right? That you need some kind of special programmer brain, or that you have to be formally taught in a class. That it's this gift you're either born with or you're not. But our source pushes back hard against this. The argument is simple. Anyone can do it. You learn by doing, by getting your hands dirty, by researching. It's a skill you build, not a talent you have.
All right, so you've decided to ignore the myths and just get started. Let's walk through what that very first, very confusing step actually feels like, because it's a universal experience. So you do it. You go online, you find a development tool, something like Visual Studio, for example, and you download it. You click through the installer, you hit finish, and you open it up. And then you just stare. You're hit with this wall of menus and buttons and options, and none of it makes any sense at all.
Our Japanese source has this perfect word for that exact feeling, chinpukampun. It basically means total gibberish, gobbledygook, just completely incomprehensible. That is the moment of pure confusion. And the source says a lot of people hit this wall and they just run away. But here's the twist. What if that feeling isn't a warning sign to stop? What if it's the sign that you've actually finally begun?
You see, that feeling of being completely lost isn't a roadblock. It's actually a signpost. It points us directly to the real heart of this explainer and to a totally new way of defining what programming really is.
And here it is. This is the big idea from our source. Programming isn't about being a genius who knows everything. Programming is the endless and, often annoying process of researching all the stuff you don't understand. That chinpukanpun feeling, that feeling of confusion, that's not the obstacle. That's the starting gun for the real work.
And this, right here, leads to the most important mindset shift you can possibly make. You have to learn to embrace the annoying but essential truth of what this work is all about. The source uses another fantastic Japanese word for this process of constant research. Mendokusai. It means a hassle. It's bothersome. It's annoying. You know that feeling when you're in the zone and you hit a wall and have to stop everything to go look something up? Again? That's mendokusai. It's tedious. It breaks your flow. It's just plain annoying.
So here's the punchline. Programming isn't just interrupted by this bothersome research. Programming is the repetition of this bothersome research. From your very first day trying to figure out what a button does to being a senior developer debugging a complex system, the core loop is exactly the same. Run into something you don't know and go figure it out. That part never ever stops.
And that brings us to the most powerful takeaway of all. The real barrier. The thing that actually separates people who learn to code from those who give up. It isn't ability. It isn't a special kind of brain. It's their willingness to just face the mendokusai, the hassle, over and over and over again. It's a test of your persistence, not your intelligence.
So let's just reframe the whole question we started with. It's not, can you learn to program? Our source is very clear on that. Anyone can. The real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is this. Are you willing to do the annoying, bothersome, endless work of looking things up? Because that work, that is programming.